think we all can agree that we don't, anywhere we go, whether it's just out and about, airports, restaurants, whatever, walking down the street, everybody's got their head down,
Oh, yes.
to this device. And I've been having an idea to do a documentary of taking all these shots, trying not and have to pixel their faces, but like the zombie apocalypse, the technology apocalypse. But would you not agree? It appears as though we are officially addicted to this technology. I believe there's even like digital detox camps in China, whatever. But I'm wondering if you agree with that, and if you personally come across that with your practice, and if so, how do you suggest that people detox from this? You've already covered that a great deal, I believe, with your protocol. That's how they detox, right?
Well, just like anything else, it's cumulative, right? So with my therapies that are 2.5 hours long, it was the one time of the week where people were not using electronic devices. And, I was adding into their healing time, like bank account, by, lowering their brain waves through reflexology. And then they forgot about the phone, you know what I mean? So we need to let them turn this off to be able to live, to be able to get into our bodies and let the body do what it needs to. But everyone's addiction is my kids, I struggled so much with them. And then once they got it, that I wasn't gonna give up, it was like, no, only 2 hours of any device. What do you want, Xbox? They had it all, right? And they each had one, but they could only use it 2 hours at a time. After that, we're going to detox. We're going to take our shoes off and go into the park and, and interact with the environment. And then before you knew it, you've seen some photography where they're eating and they're watching TV with the foot on a grounding mat.
Yes.
And they understood the importance of staying grounded and calm and brain waves, so they were not erratic. It was great. It was beautiful to watch that. I struggled a lot, but then they got it.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. I have seen those photos. So impressive. And I've also heard that a lot of times, like in schools, if schools will absolutely say no cell phones, no, you may not even bring them into the school. Some will be that rigid about it. And I guess others, like the teachers, will say, no, they've got to be turned off. They got to go in the basket, not during the class. And a lot of times students have basically said, when nobody else can use the phones, and they have kind of realized, wow, I'm kind of having a really good time. And the more that I'm without them, the more I realize I waste a lot of time on it. So the kids are starting to figure this out, which is a great thing. But I recently was listening to another interview, again, through this summit, 5G Summit. It's fabulous. Dr. David Greenfield was talking about the addiction, some things, and I've been looking into this for a while, but I hadn't heard this before, that he was sharing that there's a direct connection between the speed from initiation, like from the first time you turn on the phone, and then you go someplace to download a game or place a call, but the speed from the initiation to the time you get your results, whatever you're doing, that is connected with addiction. That the faster it connects, the more that is addicting behavior. And he mentioned in the old days, when it would take like 3 minutes to download a photo on a dial-up connection. Is anybody old enough to remember that? But he said that you didn't have the addiction back then as much as we do now. And it's like the speed. I thought that was really fascinating. And I wondered if you'd heard that.
Oh, yes, of course, and I'm familiar with his work. In the 10 years that I've been doing this, I bumped into a lot of visionaries like he is, picking up on tendencies of our community that are destroying us and destroying the environment. There is disconnecting us from each other.
Right.
Which is an even bigger problem. Pretty soon, we're not going to want to exist unless there's a screen, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And it's just reached that epidemic point, I believe. He was also saying that, like, for example, there's such a conspiracy between the app designers and even like Facebook. He was saying, did you know that they have the ability to parse out the likes? Like when somebody posts on Facebook, they get a dopamine hit every time they see who's responding to, look what I had for lunch today. Oh, so-and-so likes that. Oh, I got another thumbs up. But apparently a lot of these likes can come in all at once, and Facebook could share that with you, but they dole them out. They parse them out to help the kids. I got another one. Oh, I got another one. And that furthers the addiction and the tie-in with the technology of Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Yeah. And just when we, didn't think they could get more manipulative. And I also heard in another interview with Dr. Dietrich Klinghardt that he mentioned a methylated folate lotion, or sometimes called an e-shield, that kind of reflects the Wi-Fi on the skin. And I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't have a lot of information on it, but I want to look into that a little bit. And are you familiar with that, Alfredo, that type of lotion?
I'm familiar with what he's trying to propose here. I'd have to read the papers, but coming from him, I'll take any advice. You know what I mean? He's somebody that has dedicated his life to inform people about the dangers of this. You know what I mean? That's when you realize, like, okay, you got to trust your source, whatever it is. They've done the work. And me being a doer, I immediately go to do it. I have, however, been using NRF2 technology, which is the antidote. It's what this radiation inhibits your body from producing. And guess what it is? It's a DNA modulator. It's an antenna. It turns off disease. So there's a lot of information now through nutrigenomics, which is how your body and your genes express themselves with the food you're giving them. And this radiation inhibits your body from producing NRF2. You've got it quantified anyways, and that's essentially why you die, because you just don't have this factor anymore. So I super supplement people. There's only a couple companies, one here in Mexico and one in the United States, selling this from the same founder, Dr. McCord. You can actually now measure oxidative stress through your blood. It's about $1,000 blood test, and it'll tell you. This test will tell you. Just like, Fahrenheit and centigrades and all this, these were scientists that invented this measuring type. It tells you how much oxidative stress you have. If you're 40, it'll tell you you got the oxidative stress of a 60-year-old person. So supplementation with this company reduces it by 40%. It's all hard science. It's beautiful. And I've watched people get younger on me with this supplement. I've been using it since I got into it. But I was producing it through the diet, through Dr. Joanna Butwick's protocol. It is designed to produce NRF2 and to have the ingredients that your body needs for the antidote for oxidation, which is what this radiation accelerates in you. You know what I mean?
This is encouraging, as you know, that more and more that this is coming on and people are feeling the effects of it. Folks are starting to panic when they hear about 5G on the horizon and the deployment of the small cell antennas down our streets, and people are getting sick from this. They're panicky. What can I do? Can I put this little device on my phone? And can I do this chip? Can I do this special? People are making a lot of money off the gadgets and stuff there. So, but this sounds like it's really, and you have to be careful about that.
Yes, I was involved in a $33 million venture in Orange County. When they found out what I did, home inspections, they hired me to test their products and they failed. But then they invited me to work with the scientists I was working on. These were holographic stamps that had quantum effects. And yes, I watched them do wonders, but the next solar explosion, rendered them useless.
Absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned that. My husband, Paul, who's on this call, he spends a lot of time monitoring solar activity. And he's basically saying, you know what, as soon as we have a big old solar flare storm, that this will take care of a lot of our problems. So, there's definitely a lot of that.
That's where the information comes from. So it's microwave,
Yes. And I thought it was kind of interesting that Dr. Klinghardt also shared that when we get too many, this is Greenfield, that when we get too many internet dopamine hits, it affects our ability to express real life pleasure. It's called reward deficiency syndrome. And I believe it has to do with the release of cortisol, like you'd mentioned, when we check to see if we have any comments from our posts. So we've kind of covered that. And he also shared some sobering statistics about the distraction element of cell phones with driving. And he said if you're using a device in your car, your chances of dying in an accident increases 7-fold.
Unbelievable.
And he said we're more likely to die in a distracted driving accident than in an alcohol-related one.
Yes.
He compares having a phone in the car comparable with Russian roulette.
I know.
And he said these stats,
but so true.
yes, and he said these stats aren't unique to any age group. And I said, really? That's very interesting.